obusika bwammwe. If you don't follow it up, this is the Jajja Uganda ebalamidde. Tibanange abazukulu mu miruka sente zizo milioni ekikumi buli mwaka. You don't follow it up. My great grandfather who saved those cows in 1893 from the rinderpest of that time, and was fighting all the tribes who are trying to steal those cows. He went to heaven long ago. So, suppose I had not followed up, where would these cows be? So follow up your busika. PDM is your busika. Emyoga is your busika. All this money is yours. How can somebody, you come and touch my cows, you will see. Ntibabi ente za Museveni. Ha, bananga. Baziba batia. Jajja azindamira ne baziba. Nzirwanako. This was the problem. So please, look, if the government was not having these programs, you could blame the government. But the programs are there. So follow them up. That's what we are telling you in the campaigns. Mubanje, mulondore, okulondora. Monitor and also demand. Okay.
The next question is coming from Tamale Mirundi Jr.
Am I on? His Excellency, my name is Tamale Mirundi Jr., son to the late Tamale Mirundi Sr., your former press secretary. His Excellency, my question is, the population in Uganda, most of the population were young people. And His Excellency, you have so many old people in your government. Apart from you, the wise one, and the people like Mr. Biaruhanga who are very hardworking. His Excellency, we pray in the next government, you give more positions of authority to young people. That's our prayer. Because it is young people that understand young people. His Excellency, there are challenges that young people are going through, which even don't need the capital, they don't need the money, but understanding human behavior.
Who are those?
The young people ask His Excellency, the Gen Zs. Lastly, His Excellency, ever since, this is a kind reminder, ever since my late father passed on, I haven't got an opportunity to speak to you. I know today, His Excellency, after this session, you'll guarantee me that request. Because you have said we remind and we monitor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now the young people, that's a very good idea from Tamale Mirundi, that we appoint young people. I like it. And we appointed them in the past. If, for instance, you see people like Anite, Evelyn Anite, I appointed her when she was in her 20s, just out of teenagers. So I will appoint them, I have no problem. But what you should be careful about, don't avoid your responsibility. Because I have told you before, don't confuse biology with ideology. You may be young, but lost in terms of what to do. And the good example were our independence leaders. All those leaders were young people, all of them, independent. Mutesa, 39 years, Obote, 35, Nechon, 28, Kakonge, 26, they were all young people. Rwamwaro, what? The only one who was above 40 would have been maybe Nadiope and Jomo Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya was the one in the 50s. In the whole of East Africa, they were all young people. I remember Rashid Kawawa, when he became Prime Minister of Tanzania, he was 31. But they failed. So, don't concentrate on biology. Because when you say we understand the ones who understand the young people, that means they should understand them correctly. If they say we young people like Arsenal, and then you say because we are young we are watching Arsenal, including our minister Mvubuka, ariko Arsenal. Nibatamanya nti obugaga buva wano, nti emirimu giva wano, you are going to be lost. So, don't spend so much time on just biology. Yes, biology is good, but please, ideology is the decisive. Because when we were fighting, we were young, but we were fighting young people on the other side. There were young people on the other side, we were young people on the side. So historically speaking, you had to see which side was right. For instance, Kabaka Yeka, which was promoting Ugandaism. Even now, you get in Nkobazambogo, they are not old people. They are young people. But there are people who are saying Uganda is more important than Uganda. And me, I say Uganda is more important than Ankole, than Uganda, than Lango. It is more useful to me. So, if you are young, but disoriented, how would it help you? So young, but oriented. You should add another word. You don't just say young. Mistake makers are young people. And also old people. You get people who make mistakes when they are young. So that's my advice to you. It's good you have raised it. I have talked about it before. Not just biology, but biology and ideology. Okay? Now, PPS, the son of Tamale Mirundi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mzee, for that. I hope we're all taking note of what Mzee is saying. Each one of us, he's talking to you, you, the young people, and the rest of us who are here, escorting you.
Like for instance, recently we were somewhere, and Dr. Kia must be somewhere here. In there, Dr. Kia, who is also a former young person. He asked these young people, which are the 4 sectors where wealth and jobs are found? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. We had an audience like 40 people, 50 people. So I can tell you, whether you are young or ancient or recent or out of date, if you don't answer that question, I'm sorry for you. You are lost. which are the 4 sectors. You don't know that? This is what I was talking about in the campaign. But they were not bothering. They don't bother to listen. So if you don't, now the other day, Mama and myself, we had, there is a very successful young boy called Basangwa in Busoga, who is doing a very good job with poultry and eggs. And I was showing his videos during the campaign. Now, apparently, Ugandans in diaspora were watching those videos. Then when they saw how that Basango is getting 20 million shillings a day from eggs, the ones in UK, I said, bano balimba. Fe twamanyira obwavu. How can somebody get 20 million shillings a day? Guno gusajja gulimba gwa Museveni.
This is not in Uganda. So
they decided to come and check. They came all the way from UK. They are there in UK, bakola kyeyo. Fe wana tukola sente, bali eri mu kyeyo. Sente ziri wano, bazireka wano. So they came, and they were shocked to find Basango and Kamuri earning 20 million shillings a day. So if you don't solve that disorientation, whether you are young or ancient or what, you are lost.
Thank you, Mzee, so much. The third question is from Pamela Ankunda.
Thank you, Mzee, for this opportunity once again, and congratulations on the recent victory at the elections. Mzee and Mama, thank you so much again for overhauling the education system in Uganda, the curriculum. I think we are seeing a better interaction with the students, the learners, and the parents. And thank you also for focusing on the vocational skills that our children are getting. However, my key question is those who graduate from these very many skilling centers that you've put across the country.
Speak loudly.
The very many young children that are graduating from the different vocational schools around the country, the skilling centers around the country that you've put.
From which schools?
Vocational schools.
Yes.
And the skilling centers. Is there particular funding that can be proposed to support them, to support their innovations and their startup ventures?
Yes, there is already a fund. First of all, there is the Innovation Fund in the Ministry of Science and Technology. Then, recently, I started a fund for the graduates of the skilling hubs, my skilling hubs. So that those funds can be expanded. And the one of the skilling hubs is district-based. Because we try to put these funds near the people, not very far, not Kampala, not so those funds can, they are there, but they can be expanded for taking advantage of skills to create wealth and jobs, and for the ones who have got, and that's how the man of Emyoga is actually about that. Emyoga means skills. But again, the problem is that you don't bother to understand and follow up and see how you come in, and even if there are weaknesses, you fight them locally there.
Mama, might you have anything to add to that?
Yes, I'd like to begin by, first of all, thanking all of you, because I think it's very important that we're beginning to have big numbers of young Ugandans who are, first of all, proud of being Ugandan. Seeing you here concerned to have time to speak to the president or listen to him is a blessing for Uganda as a country. Because Africa has failed to develop because it always looks to other countries to develop it, to change it, to fund it, to do things for Africa. That's why you see many of our young people dying on the seas, trying to go abroad to look for jobs. And you know, we have jobs here. That's what the president was talking about. Africans have always been so ashamed of being African. So for me, I think we now must begin to celebrate, to see young Ugandans really proud of being Ugandan. That's the first point I wanted to say to you. Because all other things will come from us knowing that Uganda depends on us to develop, to change, to have our own products, to be ourselves. When you see Ugandans trying to have blonde hair, you know there is a problem with a character. Mm-hmm. And I believe, and I know that there are some of you who have changed your hair color to blonde, to brown, to whatever. I just think that I want you to know.
Mama, I'd like to, just before you continue, move on from that point, I'd like you to know that the young people here, especially the girls, the ladies, made an effort to really come African this time around for you and Mzee. And when Mzee comes back, we'll tell him, because the last time I think he was a bit sad to see all the way the young people, their hair and so on, especially the girls. So now to honor you and Mzee, we have really come out as Ugandans. So
I must thank you, honestly, I thank you, and I must say I'm proud of you. That's what I said out of there. Because watching our election campaign this time round, our campaign went the way it did because most Ugandans wanted to make a point that they are proud to be Ugandan.
Amen.
And they wanted their country to remain and to grow and to develop, and they wanted to vote for the government they want themselves and win. And they won, which is something we must be proud of. So, going to the question now, having a new curriculum that you see many people are talking about, that has changed their way of learning. Our young people now enjoy being in school, being in class, asking questions, doing their own projects that say that they enjoy what they are learning and they want to learn and speak for themselves. And teachers are becoming facilitators of education, but not just to feed children like chicken feed their young. Our children now want to ask questions, their own questions. They want to show that they have their own attitude, they have their own opinion. And I think that is something that really shows that Uganda is changing for the better. Because the Bible says that education that comes from worldly philosophies bring captivity. And Christian philosophies bring liberty. When you are liberated as a person, then you can liberate your country. But the education we had from colonial people who were in Africa brought the education that really just made us captive of those countries. And even their education was what we worshipped. We wanted to be who they are. We wanted indeed to their sports become our sports. Whatever they want is what we must do. But now, Uganda and our new curriculum is bringing real liberation, and Ugandan children are becoming true Ugandans. That's why you are here, I believe. That's why you care to ask questions about tomorrow. What are we going to do about tomorrow? So, I want you to know that the skills that the children are getting now, if they are really looking forward to providing a service to their people, they will be able to do it. Museveni was just, and throughout the whole campaign, he was talking about how the young people will have more funding put into PDM and all these other programs that have always been there. And if you also learn to become proud of your families and start working even with the families, you know, many of our families have some wealth, where you are born, where you come from. But you are not proud of where you come from, therefore you don't think that you can work with your families and develop the wealth that is there. If you now get the skills and take your skills back to your families and hold hands with your parents at the family level, you can develop and become another Basangwa. So, and the government is trying to invest money in the young people's programs. But you must be disciplined, you must be selfless, and you must be forward-looking and confident that you can do it, that you can become what you vision in yourself. Money, I was just talking to Mzee about our budget in 1986. Do you know what our budget was in 1986? 5 billion. 5 billion. That was the national budget of Uganda. Today, Mzee, you can tell
70 trillion. 70,000 billion.
So, things can't just happen or at a go. But if we are striving to see that our nation will change and we will all become proud right here, beginning with our families, with our communities. And we look at each other as Ugandans and hold hands to work together and stop looking at each other in tribes and religions and I don't know what, those things that divide us. If we look at each other as Ugandans and work together, Uganda will be unstoppable.
Amen.
So, just to go back to your question, the money is there. Even now, there is money for those who are looking for it, if they really want to develop their skills. And I'm sure you heard some of the children who were giving testimonies during the campaign, where they came from, how they had dropped out of school, how they got a chance to go now to the skilling center. They got skills, and they got some funding which was put there by government, and now they're also employing others. Many of them were talking about their experiences. And so, let's just not think that everything must happen right away, but let's have hope, and let's be disciplined, and let's really work for a character that would help you to fulfill the God's plan for your life. I always tell young people what God said to Jeremiah in the Bible. God said to Jeremiah that before he was in his mother's womb, he knew him. And I want to tell you that today, that before any one of you was in your mother's womb, God knew you. And God knows you by name, and he has a purpose for your life. If you care to find out what God's purpose for your life is, God's hand will guide you along, and you find you can't fail to do what you really aspire to do. So those skills, they will facilitate what the children of Uganda want to do, and I have no doubt in my mind that the funding is there, and it will continue to come, and those who are prepared to be disciplined in their lives and to look for what they want and pray also, they will fulfill their destiny. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you so much for that. Now we have our fourth question is from Maurice Mugisha.
Thank you very much, Natasha, Your Excellency, President Museveni, and Mama. It's an honor to join you for this ranch edition. And Natasha, I want to thank you for bringing us to the ranch. Your Excellency, speaking for myself, I represent Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, and I come from Kisoro. And speaking for myself and my brother, Don Wanyama, we don't have these cows in our area. Don is from Bugisu, and I'm from Kisoro. So this, for us, is always an honor, whenever we can. And so we thank you for allowing the young people to come and see what wealth looks like. Your Excellency, I want to speak to economics, and I want to pick from Natasha and speak to the fact that Uganda, as the analysts say, is growing very steadily, an average of 6%. In fact, it's projected to grow to double digits in the next few years, given the oil production that's coming online. We are now a net exporter, Your Excellency. For the first time, you have a positive trade balance. And Your Excellency, we continue to see a very strong currency. We continue to see our trade balance with the region, especially here in the East African region, continue to grow. And when you look at the numbers, the DRC, South Sudan, Rwanda, and Kenya continue to take the bulk of our products in terms of trade. And for the young people, because it's a conversation for young people, you spoke to where the opportunities are for the young people and how they can position themselves, first of all in attracting the capital, but also in looking outward, out of the 45 million Ugandans. You have been driving and pushing for regional integration, Your Excellency. And the first edition of Jazz with Jajja, it was nice to see you explain how this federation speaks to the interest of not just Uganda, but the region and the continent at large. But when we speak to the young people, we want you to tell them how integration is going to be critical, given the growth and the trajectory. Your Excellency, a lot of young people laugh at the Honorable Matia Kasage's plain, some of the example of our economy and how we are taking off. But they need to know that we can position ourselves as young people, and I know Natasha keeps saying the young people. I think, Natasha, we are still young. We can still position the young people to benefit not just from the integration of our region, but at the continent level, because we are talking about a 3.4 trillion US dollar trillion market of 1.3 billion people. But what about young people positioning themselves first for the regional market as we drive for regional integration? And that is where the wins will come from at the beginning, because we're already doing very well. Our manufacturing and industry is doing great. But how can these young people then begin to believe that they have a cake in this drive to grow our national economy, but also to grow our region?
Well, this is ideological, because unfortunately I am an authoritative former young person, because when I went to Mozambique, 1968, I was 23 years old, leading students to go and associate with our brothers in Mozambique. And in the school system, we were studying the history of Europe. For instance, Germany, how Germany became one country. Up to 1870, what is now Germany was 39 small kingdoms. All of them German population, but under petty kings, small kings, small kings, small kings. But the capitalist class, when they came up, they said, these small kings are stopping us from doing business. Because when you try to go from Prussia to the other areas, you pay tax. From Prussia to Saxony, you pay tax. From Saxony to Bavaria, you pay tax. They are the ones who supported the pan-Germanism, the unification of Germany. That's how Germany, they supported Bismarck. That's how Germany got united in 1871. Italy was not one country until 1860, when Henry Cavour and Garibaldi and others united it. So even from the school system, if you are really serious, from the United States, why is the United States now so powerful? It is because, unlike Latin America, the former Spanish colonies in Latin America, when they got independence from Spain, they decided to remain smaller states. Up to now they are there: Bolivia, Nicaragua, El Salvador, I don't know which one, Honduras, small. Business can't succeed there. But the British colonies in the north, when they got independence, they united, the 13. So these young people, young without ideology, you are lost. I'm sorry. The ideology is medicine for economic issues. How can you be a doctor if you don't study medicine? Because the patient needs to be cured. So you must correctly diagnose his sickness and prescribe a solution. So whether you are young or ancient or modern or recent or whatever you call yourself, if you do not correctly diagnose the problems of society and the answer, you are finished. You are a quack. You are not a doctor. Which kwangala? You are a fake doctor. So you must correctly analyze what society needs. I've told you, the NRM has told you in writing by speech, said prosperity, abantu okubeera obulungi. The Runyankore word is easier, obugwajje. Obugwajje will only come, apart from the religious side, how to prepare to go to heaven, which Mama is talking about, which is very correct, the spiritual side. But here, on earth, the only way you can get prosperity is to produce a good or a service and sell it. In other words, become a wealth creator. Create a good or a service where in the 4 sectors, the ones I have said. Then you start now worrying with the issue of the market. Who is to buy? 45 million, 46 now, they're about 50 now million. Then East Africa, then the rest of Africa. So I think what is lacking here is first and foremost, because if these young people, recently I met a Gen Z from Kenya. They came and saw me at Nakasero. They had come here that they are experts in organizing riots. So Noop had brought the Kenyan Gen Z as resource persons for riots. When they got here, some of our young people said, no, here we don't like riots. Why don't we go and see this old man? So these children came to Nakasero to see me from Kenya. During the elections, I had some time in the evening. I said, we are rioting. What are you rioting for? Corruption. Then I said, okay, corruption is a problem. But even if there was no corruption, but you don't solve the issue of producing a good or a service, you don't solve the issue of producing a good or a service and selling it, even if you are not corrupt, you will be stuck. Why? Okay, as we talk about corruption, because part of why you don't have jobs, part of the problem is that the businesses are not expanding fast enough. Why are they not expanding fast enough? Because sometimes they have problem of selling, like sugar, for instance. We produce sugar, but Tanzania doesn't buy. They are buying from Brazil. Somebody else is buying from I don't know where. So you find the sugar companies are struggling with sales of sugar. The milk, we have a lot of milk now, but sometimes some of the African countries don't buy the milk. We have now going to have to go to Algeria, where we've got a market. So the young people, when I was still your age, I would be very busy on the issue of the East African integration. Because if you don't integrate, you kuzingamia. You know, our words are stronger than English. yukuzingamya businesses zizingama okuzingama mukumanyi amale mulundi okuzingama kyeki
His Excellency, okuzingama mu Uganda kitegeeza ekintu okubeeraawo tekikulaakulana nga tekitambula nga kiri wamu.
stagnation in growth. So if you do not solve the issue of okuzingamya businesses, because now we have got surplus here in Uganda, we have got surplus of maize. We produce 5 million tons. We consume only 1 million. There is a surplus of 4. And problem, sometimes they don't buy, sometimes this milk we are producing 5.3 billion liters. We are consuming only 1 million, less than 1 billion. Surplus 4. Cement, what? All this, beer, sugar. So the youth, you need to really understand holistically what Mama is saying. Lwaki munyoma ebya Africa one? Why do you really, you hear the breeze here. You feel it, the breeze. So when you go to Europe and you find these people freezing in Brussels, I find them there. What are you doing here? But because of ideological disorientation, Sunday, in our Church of Uganda prayer book, it says, balekanga okukola ebya Sunday okukola, ne bakola ebya Sunday okukola, n'amazima tegali mu bo. They left undone what they ought to have done, and they did that they ought to not have done, and there's no truth in them. This is the problem I see here. So, me, a former young person, okay, me, a former young person, when I bought Ruakitola, imagine, I bought Ruakitola when I was 22 years old. That Ruakitola there. My first salary as a teacher, when I taught as a temporary teacher, I went and bought Ruakitola. I left my colleagues in Mbarara learning how to dance with the girls. That you also. I went and bought Ruakitola. It was in the bush. What I've been telling you in the elections. Enjawulo eri wakati wa enkulaakulana n'obugagga. The difference between development and wealth. I knew that yes, by that time there was already a tarmac road in Mbarara, but in Ruakitola there was a bush, no road, no what. But there was obugagga there. Pasture for my cows. So I bought that land. When I bought this land here in 1990, this was bush. By this time I was in my 40s now, that time. I see Bobby Wine, he's in his late 30s or 40s. He says he's a young man also. You are still young at 40. a man of 40, let's say I'm young at 40, I'm young. By this time I was no longer, but it was bush. So, what Mama was telling you, you need eyes to see substance, not aberrations, just mirages. Obugaga buli wano, emirimu giri wano. The 4 sectors, commercial agriculture, artisanship and manufacturing. What the man from Kisoro is talking about is being that big growth you hear. 7%, we are now approaching 8%, we are going. The people who are doing it are mainly two. We, the farmers, and the manufacturers. But many of the manufacturers are also outsiders. So that's why you hear that as we speak now, 70% of the homesteads in Uganda are now in the money economy. But there is 30% abachali mukorera ekida kyonka abo okukorera ekida kyonka, only working for the stomach. Kataabo. So you have two stories. You have growth and prosperity. Kampala bagaga weweri. Some of the children are now arriving in schools with helicopters. Have you heard that? Mama had to ban them. Yes. They had started, some of the children in the secondary schools. He arrives in a helicopter. So some of the families are very rich. But the problem is now the 30%. And part of the problem is obtaulirism. Part of the problem is not listening. There is one of the church people whom I will not tell you, I'll first talk to him, I'll first quarrel with him. There's one of the church people who wrote to me, and I answered him. He said, this PDM, but members of my church, nobody has benefit from PDM. Nange namuddamu. Kubanga oli muzadde mubi. You are a bad parent. Because Nazara Natasha, Namhoz, Twazara Mama, Twazara Van, Neshobakuza. At some stage, we couldn't say, you stay here with us, you are our children. Musigare wano, genda ofune mukwano. Sigenda kukwasa, genda. So, they went, now you can see Demogoba. This is Sas now, one of my grandchild. Sas there. Now, if I had said, Natasha Sigarawano, stay here, because you are my daughter, Sigarawano, how would I get Sas now? So some of these church people are bad parents. They want to monopolize the followership. You stay with me. Tebabagamba nti mugende mulize government kyegamba. That's what I'm saying. You go and listen what the government is saying. I don't know whether you have heard anybody saying that in the churches. Have you heard them saying that? This is what I told the church person who wrote to me. Because you don't tell your followers to listen to the government. You want to keep, I don't know whether it is loyalty or what, of your followers. So you don't encourage them. Don't encourage them to listen to the government. I encourage Natasha to be with his family, with her family. Mwana wange, naye, for her own good, must separate herself from me to have her own family. So, if they listen, there's nothing, especially with us, the 30% or so, because the 70% have listened. Because when I appointed General Saleh, 2013, the people in the money economy were only 32%. 68% were outside the money economy. Singambali nobude mwadingenze mu byalo wano, ekisozi wano. I've got about 2,500 families just near me here. When I came here, they were all democratically poor. I fought with them. Now they have all, the majority are now, especially in the commercial agriculture. So from 2013, you see we have moved from 32% in the money economy to now 70% in the money economy. It's only 30%. So singa bawuliriza okwabula kwaffe, things are very easy to move with us. Then we shall have all struggle together with the market. Market we'll have to work with the Kenyans, with the Tanzanians, with the Rwandese, with the Congolese, the African youth, to start a Pan-African movement. I have told you about the story of Germany. But even France, although France was one kingdom for a long time, but they had internal taxes between the provinces. Bagande to Brittany, you pay tax. Brittany to you pay tax. But the French Revolution of 1789, by the middle class, the bourgeoisie, part of the grievance was internal taxes. Jakem soro, twagala business etambule wonna. So you need to create wealth, and then you start struggling for markets in Africa, because the African market is the one which belongs to you. The markets of Europe, they may allow you or not allow you. They are not yours. The ones which you are guaranteed is the one of Africa if you all unite. Like now, China has got problems with other countries, sometimes with America, but they have their market internally. They are not bad. They will survive. 1.4 billion people in one country. Uganda, Rwanda, Congo, you are scattered. Instead of seeing this as a problem, you are watching European football. What is your future? What is your future? I don't know whether I've answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mzee. Our fifth question, we have 9 and we are now on number 5, is from Happy Kanywan.
Thank you, everyone. Nienda kusima mzee na mama Janet ukunyeta. My question goes to Mama Janet. Is it possible for creative arts to be added into our education system?
Is it what?
Is it possible for creative arts to be added into our education system?
To do what?
Creative arts.
Creative arts.
the creative arts, is it possible to
Is
include?
it possible for
Creative arts, can they be? Yes.
I would like to hear you. Welcome.
Is it possible for creative arts to be added into our education system?
It is in the education system. Yeah, I'm sure you know that we have music and drama at Makerere and other
To do
universities.
what? The arts,
Creative
subjects.
arts.
to remove it.
No, to include
To-
it,
no.
but I think she means, no, I think, yeah, there's a last part of that question which we are supposed to
Yeah.
ask. I think can we have
Is
some
it-
silence,
I-
please? Hello? Some silence, please.
I can explain it.
The question is it
Is it
possible?
possible for creative arts to be added into our education system?
To remove
Creative arts added.
I think she means the modern creative, modern in terms of like this content creation type of thing. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean the content creators, influencers.
is it not there?
It's
No,
there.
it's not.
It's a new. I think.
It's a-
Let me interject here. If we can have some silence, we can. We will. I need some.
I think it is there. Maybe you're saying you don't see them actually become what they train to be. Is that what you're saying? I think sometimes they don't train for the talents they really have so that they can follow up on them. But those who do actually become. Those are the ones who do music and drama, who sing, and that becomes their livelihood. Yes.
It's livelihood.
Yes, so they do. Maybe you are saying they don't prosper in our society because people don't make their industries prosper that much as they do in other countries, but it is because our society is also still developing. For people to want to make time to go see people who sing, who perform drama, who are in that kind of business, there are not many people who have that interest and who can make them earn a lot of money. But you know that in our society there are those who are doing that and are prospering, even though there are not that many. I think a society has to get to a certain level to be able to make that time and pay and be willing to pay so much for watching sports, for instance, or those who sing and because we don't have that much money in our society. If you talk about sports alone in these developed countries, sports people earn a lot of money because so many people want to watch sports. But our people, first of all, don't have the time and they don't have the money to pay. And so those people don't tend to prosper so much, to be known, to be seen in society. But as I said before, I think we have to be patient with what is happening in our own country. And as we develop, people will have more time, people will have more money to spend, and professions will prosper and will be seen more than they're doing now.
Thank
But
you
what
so
was the
much.
question? I want to answer properly. What was the question?
My question was, is it possible to add a creative arts into our education system? Creative arts have become a source of income for so many, like influencers, creators.
Or you think that we are neglecting arts or something?
Content creating, not
Now,
all arts.
because I could detect the debate between science and arts. And he's trying to say, you are forgetting arts, I think. That is somewhere in your idea.
That's another question.
Yes, sir.
Now, you need to understand society. Gen Z, listen carefully. The human beings have been here for the last 4.5 million years. When you evolved from, when you became Homo sapiens sapien. Homo sapiens sapien means intelligent man. Now, of all human creation, all creatures, it is only a man who does work. Why? Because he has got a superior brain and has got a hand which can work. Hands. Cows can't hold things. They can't work, cows. So because of that, and even in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, that's why God said, you go and establish dominion over nature, the book of Genesis. But in the science, man is a working man. Now, man works through science. That's what you need to understand, the relationship between science and arts. And science is utilizing the laws of nature. This wind, I'm not the one who created the wind, but I can use it to dry my clothes. I wash clothes, hang them on a line, the wind dries them. So man learned that I can use the wind to dry the clothes. The wind is nature. Then man learned that I can also now use wind to make electricity, to make a windmill. So that's why we tell you, the development of science and technology is the primer. You Gen Z, you write that word, primer. Primer, you write it in your smartphones. Primer is something that detonates things to happen, explosion to happen. So the primer of changes in human society is science and technology. That's what we are telling you.
I think she was talking something different.
For instance, the invention of fire 2.5 million years ago changed society completely. Before fire was invented, man was staying in trees. They would live in trees because the trees were safer than staying on the ground. But when man invented fire, society shifted from trees to caves. Because with the fire, you could go in the caves, you light, you warm yourself there. So that is the role of science. Scientific innovation changes things. Fire, agriculture. When the Europeans invented gunpowder, when we were still using arrows and bows, they came and conquered us. Not because they were better fighters, but because they had better science, gunpowder. So that's the role of science. But then, arts, social science, you study that. Like now I'm telling you, I'm not a scientist, but I studied it. I studied that what provokes changes in society is the development of science and technology. I am not a scientist in the natural science, but I studied the role of it. And then, that's why I'm able now to come and tell you that you people, those who study economics, you know the 4 factors of production: capital, land, labor, and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not science, it is arts. So, we are not saying forget about arts, no. But we are saying that please, science is primary, then the understanding of organization of society is on top of the science. They are all linked. One cannot exist without the other. So therefore, and that's how Mama told you, can a hungry man go to watch sports? Or to attend theater? So somebody who has already had food in his stomach and is the one who can go to watch. So if you have got, as Mama was saying, if you have got limited resources, what do you start with? Food or security or the two are linked, but the other one is the base. The other one, in fact, the Marxists, if you study Marxism, they will tell you the base, economic base, and the superstructure. They would say that the base of society is science and technology and organizational relations, but also the superstructure, the roof, is social science. Social science is the roof of the other one. Okay.
But her question, I think her question was talking about creative arts have become a source of livelihood for many people, including content creators, influencers, and even in the entertainment industry.
Let me see.
I believe that the question she's asking is kind of relevant to the group that is seated before you today. It is not the traditional. I don't think she's just asking about the traditional like music and drama kind of thing, but now with this modern digital art kind of thing. I believe that's what this was about. Yes. And I think her question is connected to the question, the next coming question. So if it's okay, I will also ask the next speaker, the next question to ask, and then maybe Mama and Mzee and Mama, you can give us your answers, because they are connected. Can I bring the next question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I think so.
Thank you, Mzee and Mama.
But before the next question, do you know Makerere?
Yes.
Do you know MDD? MDD, music, dance and drama. So that one has never been a debate. That is creative.
No, the one there's the old creative or the original one, the music, the dance, and the drama. Then there's this new content creation and digital, which is what they do, which is what many of the young people here do, is because it's related to the phones and technology. So I think that her question is in line with that. Will that go under education in any way? Or
Now, what are they packaging? What are you packaging?
we are not. They're very unpackaged, and I think they need. You say, you answer. I think they need.
What are you packaging? Because if you are
Live streams.
what are you packaging?
Live
What do you
streams.
mean
Live
by
streams.
Mzee, how do you mean by that question? What are they packaging?
When you say what have you created and presented?
We promote like hotels. We promote.
You promote what?
Like we do content creating. Like
What is in the content?
it's about tourism, businesses. We use our social media to promote all
Businesses.
that.
Businesses.
Yeah. We promote people's businesses using
how
our.
can that be? Okay, Murize.
No.
How can that be a problem? How can that be a problem? Because packaging in that sense of the content is part of sales promotion. Is that not so? You are promoting something. How can you have business without that? How can you have business without that? Even we, the Baganda Vedda, Urizano, even we, Abaganda Vedda, Twarugera, nti ensibambi, ekolaki, ensibambi, yes, ensibambi edibya mutere. You can imagine, even the traditional people knew that the ensibambi, if you tie food badly, people may not buy it because although the content is good, but the way it is packaged is not good. So that one is not, it is part of the 4 factors of production. Ensiba is part of the entrepreneurship. But the issue, what NRM has been alerting you is, what if you have nothing to siva? If you have no content to package, what will you package? So we are saying the country must have content so that then you can package the content. Otherwise, what will you package? What will you package? If you don't have production within the country. This is where the issue is. This is the problem between Europe and China, because now manufacturing all shifted to China. Europe remained without industries. And recently they were in trouble. You can see the economies are going down because they have services, including those packaging, but without anything to package, which is here. I'm glad you are bringing up those issues so that we discuss them. What's your name? Who?
Happy Kanywan. Kanywan. Happy Kanywan.
Taiwan.
Kanywan. Happy Kanywan. Happy Kanywan.
Kanywani.
Eh. My
Okunywana.
father was a soldier, but he died.
Kanywani, yes, was a soldier.
Yeah.
Okunywana.
Kanywan, Kanywan.
Kanywanyi.
Eh.
That's the name of
My father.
But Manyankore will say Kanywani.
Eh,
So Kanywanyi would be.
no, Kanywani, not Kanywani.
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 Kanywanyi, yes.
Thank you so much thank you for this. Our next question is from your your old friend or young friend here, Kasuku, the famous.
Thank you very much. In one of my videos, before I go ahead, in one of my videos, I had promised the people watching us that you will spice up the introduction. Yeah, make it a bit, give it some fire. Yeah.
I thought I had just the how do I, you can give me the wording?
Like last time, you know how things happen. It can't be business as usual. Yes, spice it up a bit.
The very extremely famous Kasuku is the next question.
Ah, fantastic. Thank you, Natasha. Let me first stand up. Good afternoon, Mama Janet. Yeah? No, I wanted to greet Mama Janet when I'm standing. Yeah. Good afternoon, Mama Janet.
Then get the microphone that can allow you to stand. Give him a microphone, please. Press unit.
You can use this one. It's okay, it's working. It's working.
He's a press team.
Hello? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Je muri banange? Good afternoon, Mama Janet. This is my first time seeing you. So yes, like one-on-one, because now you're seeing me, I'm seeing you. So maybe you've been seeing me when I don't see you. Yes, so why I chose to begin with you, I'm an orphan. Yes, my Jajja, my father and mother died when I was a little boy. Now, the last person who has been with me, my Jajja, died just 2 weeks ago. Yes, so I said now that I've seen you, I want to talk to you about my issues as an orphan. Since you are our mother, so I'm asking for some appointment. I come, we sit, we eat, we drink, and I tell you some of my issues as an orphan. But now wabi, nsababusabi mama.
Okay, Irene is right. Irene, please take Mr. Kasuku.
Omugalo wannange, essaawa yonna. Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. President. You usually call me Katende. I told people out there, I told them you're my friend. And I've been, the last time I was here, you promised us things. Yes. But it is. So, I've been, everywhere I pass was saying, President yakuwa ebintu byaffe. I told them mulindeko twali mu kamera. So they told me leero bw'ogenda enkalo zaffe bazikuwe. So I said fantastic, fantastic. And now that aside, I think if I am given another chance, then I'll speak on behalf of most of us here, because we have another message we want to give you, Mr. President, before you leave. But today, you started out with the fundamentals, the sectors that drive the economy and, our way of life. You talked about agriculture, you talked about manufacturing, you talked about service, that is hospitality, tourism, music, the creative arts, and then you talked about ICT. So like I was here last time, I was trying to sell to you the idea of the digital economy. The digital economy is employing so many youth. Unfortunately, I don't know how they explained it to you. The last time we were with you, it looked more like you guys are rumor mongering, you're just moving around, you really don't have direction. But we have so many youth earning from the digital economy. And by the digital economy, I'm talking about digital content creators. There's the high end, the guys that deal with the internet and the connections and all that. Then there's us, the final level here. I worked in print, the newspaper. I've worked there. I've worked on radio. I've worked on TV. But I'll tell you, Mr. President, the biggest job I've done that has sold me to the world, that has given me some money, has been on social media, on the digital. I didn't have it in my dreams that one day I'll meet you. I think I've met you once. I was a young boy, P3 at Jajja, Mugwanya. We had gone for the trade fair, and you were there, and I'm one of the people you shook hands with. And of course, I was a celebrity at school. So, but since then, we've had people who have been coming, of course, But the moment I started YouTube, TikTok, the whole country got to know me. The people around you picked interest. They're like, well, this guy is doing something different that maybe, you would want to know about. And so when we got to the fundamentals you talked about, we come in terms of promoting. For example, we've gone to your farm. You told us the cows are for ghee. But when you make that ghee, you need to sell it to the people. So what for us we do, basically, in terms of content creation, we are going to show people how these farms, how these cows are looked after from birth to when they produce. So we, tusomesa analunda ente. Like you see the way you tell us about the 4-acre model. Kati ffe tulaga omuntu okusinziira ku muntu wa bulijjo nga tetuwogedde luzungu lungi oba ki ne tumulaga nti ente eno ogikwata booti n'ogirabirira booti okutuusa weetandika okuwa amata. Amata gano bw'ogagyamu ogakola otya okufuuka omuzigo omulungi. Kalali ne tulyoka tugamba abantu nti omuzigo guno ate mulungi mujje mukole ki? Mugugule. Kati kyetugezaako okusaba Mr. President nti abaana bafunayo ku ssente mu bintu bino bye bakola, naye beetaaga omukono gwo mu gavumenti eno eddako gy'ogenda okukola. Beetaaga balabe nti gavumenti ebawagira, kuba nabo balina ebintu bye bakola oba ate bye bayinza okukola okwongerayo obubaka bwa gavumenti mu bantu. Naddala kati guno omulembe ng'ebintu ebisinga bizze ku ssimu. Kati bw'otunuulira abaana nga bano bw'obalaba, bw'ogenda ku buli omu mu real time n'obabuuza abantu bameka abalaba, bagenda kukulaga waliwo ayina omutwalo, walina aliwo emitwalo 10, waliwo ayina emitwalo 5, nga bonna balaba kino. Kati oli ne babeera tatudde ku TV ng'atambula n'essimu ye wano, asobola okuba nga obubaka bwo oba obubaka obulala omuntu wa gavumenti omulala oba naffe ffennyini nnyini bye tukola asobola okubeera ng'abiraba. Naye tuga nti President, twagala tukutegeeza omulimu guno ng'ovuddeko abantu bye bagamba nti abaana abali eyo bavumira okwo bakola ki. Abavuma be batini, naye abaana bangi kuno kati kwe bajja akasente, abatundira engoye ku ssimu, abatundirako ennyama, abantu bakolerako delivery, enviiri, ebintu bingi ebigenda okwo. Kwegamba kye nali ngezaako kutegeeza mukama waffe nti yesebo kati nga tusaba tulabe tuyinza tutya okutandika okubeera nti tukolera wamu mutu incorporating naddala mu gavumenti ejja.
We shall support you because you see we have been supporting like the musicians. We gave them I think 10 billion shillings.
Yes, sebo.
The Kenzo and group. Now this one here is part of sales promotion. What you call content, that packaging.
Yes, sir.
Part of sales promotion.
Yes, sir.
Okusiba ebintu ebyo nga abantu ne babimanya ne babigula. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that one should be supported. I totally agree.
Yes, sir. Tuyanzanye sebo tuyanzege. Era lwe nasemba okuba wano wali onsabye nkole.
Especially bw'oba otunda ebya wano. Bw'oba opackaging ebya wano. That's why you become now a useful partner. Singa wali otunda ebyebweru kubitunda wano. You would be a comprador bourgeoisie. Omuntu akolera bebweru. Naye bw'oba osiba ebyaffe n'obyanjuda eri abaana Uganda wano oba abebweru, you are a very useful person. Tukutenda tugamba nti mulungi. I will support you. I will support you.
Tuyanzanye sebo kati
Are you well organized?
tuli organized, tulina sako weeri bulungi nnyo, tulina ekibiina ekitutwala.
Ngenda kuteeka bilioni 5.
Wangi sebo, lindako siwulidde bulungi. Wangi sebo
Bilioni 5.
miliyoni
B.
biliyoni. Tweyanziza nnyo sebo, simanyi nyinza funayo kadde ki nenzija nenkusisinkanamu nenkuyisaamu ku kiwandiiko kyaffe ne tuwayamu
Bakulete wiki ejja.
wiiki ejja sebo. Aha, bannaayo olunaku lwaliro twasanzaani. Kali nga sinaba kuvaawo ndowooza Madam Natasha nsaba kano nako kankayisizeewo ddala. Abakulu babadde kati baŋŋambye nti bw'omaliriza ebyo byonna ate omukulu omutegeezi. Mr. President, congratulations, sir. Entandika gy'otandiseemu ekisanja kigenda tunyumira. Nkirabiddewo ne baaya kigenda tunyumira. Kati bana obugalo our man. Aha. Kati abaana abazze olunaku olwaleero tubadde twegaayamu ne baga nti President munnyonnyole fo ekamodo nga bw'abitunnyonnyola kino ekisanja ekijja asooka atukwatireko atute fe abazze leero buli omu kale bane mubeere bakakkamu. I have this baŋŋambye ŋŋenda kukomawo katusooke tumalirize mulindeko katusooke tumalirize. Thank you, Your Excellency. I will be waiting to see you next week in a new suit.
No, what you are talking about is not something new, because in the past it was called advertisement. The companies would spend money on the TV advertising products. Because I remember in the 1960s, in the whole of East Africa, even in Tanzania, you would hear people advertising nightly ginger, nightly ginger, nightly ginger, nightly ginger, nightly ginger. The cloth which was being made at night. When I was in Tanzania, I would hear it on the radio. So what you are now saying is that in the chain of wealth creators, a layer of operators has come up to use the social media, which is an easy way of communication, unlike the radios, the what, to package and present products to the consumers. So that's useful. So if you have got a group who are doing that, we shall support them. There's no problem at all. Okay.
I think as a small example of the kind of some of the work that these young people do, some of the digital creators made a video. So this is it, a very short video.
Yes, very good, very good. Thank you, I'm fine. Yes, going home as usual. Yes, bantu mukora, bantu mukore. Nabajangwa batakora tabakuria. Atakora taria. Hey, yaba mtabani wasi bota. Urje? Yes. Tumayonesa? No? Jasinatia yana? Very good, I'm proud of you, okay? Yeah, thank you. Yes, madam! Eh, madam Jajja! You don't nyama hata mzee wazama kanana bagamba chikani wachinye jese. Mzee hata bagana wazama bagamba chi. Muganda gamba. Atakora ataja. Whoever doesn't know to work.
So it is a combination of self-promotion and entertainment. Good. Okay.
Okay, so we have just 3 more questions. The 7th question is coming from Jacqueline Arinda.
Thank you, Natasha. Your Excellency, my name is Jacqueline Arinda, and I'm a Muzukuru who started up a coffee company online. I am proof that the youth online do not just make noise. It's a coffee company that roasts coffee for other companies, the young people who do not have facilities. So I advertise. I started on Facebook, and later when Facebook was closed, I switched to Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Mr. President, when I started my company, I was not renting. I used my social media platforms to advertise coffee. I used to go to a roastery, roast the coffee, get the coffee from farmers, take it to a roastery, roast it.
Who owned the roastery?
He's called Gerard Katabaz, was also a young person like me. He allowed me to roast my coffee from his roastery. So it is in Nakawa. I could go there, roast my coffee, go with it at home, take pictures, post on social media, and people would buy. And within 6 months, Mr. President, I was able to have an office because of the sales that I was getting. And from then, Mr. President, I'm here to say, I was a beneficiary of NSSF and I managed to buy my own roastery. But the message here, Mr. President, is that any other business in agriculture, like you said, the 4 fundamentals, commercial agriculture, and ICT need a link. And that link, Mr. President, is going to support all of us to start our own businesses and even manufacturing. We all do not have to start big, because I am an example to show the young people that you do not have to start with billions. If I could start with just a social media platform, because me, I was a celebrity, Mr. President, and I realized I had a huge following, but I was not getting money out of it. So I said, how about I start roasting coffee, get from farmers?
You were a celebrity from what?
Mr. President, from the day one, I was Miss Tourism Ankole region, and from being a Miss Tourism Ankole region,
Being what?
Miss Tourism
Oh,
Ankole,
Narurungi.
Narurunji. And from then, I managed to get a job, but also because of my huge following on social media, I managed to get a job on TV and radio. So I realized that I had huge following, but I was not getting money out of it. So I said, how about I buy coffee from farmers who do not speak good English, and maybe they don't know how to advertise on social media, get their coffee, take it to a roastery, roast it, package it, go home, post the pictures, and use borders to do the distribution and delivery. So, Mr. President, my question here is, what policy changes will the government be introducing in the next 5 years to enable Ugandan businesses to use new technologies, even better, to grow the private sector? That includes AI and drone systems. Because what we are lacking is that as much as we advertise, we are not skilled to the standard of getting the content. As you see them with their phones there, that's a skill that most farmers and even us would need training in AI. Thank you.
No, you see, we really have the basics. Because you see, you are using social media. Social media in the past was using satellites in the past. But satellites were very expensive. So that's how I invested. I worked with the Chinese and built internet, underground cable. You know, sometimes you don't know those things. Mulibambuja byengedde. Bwe musanga ebyengedde, temumanyi gye biva. So because of that, although at that time our concern was the telephones, international telephoning through satellites was very expensive. There's what you can check the figures, what they call per megabyte or something like that. There's the way they calculate it. It was very expensive per megabyte. They call it megabyte. It was so much expensive. So that's how I invested with the Chinese in the underground cable from the ocean to here. Then we had a problem. There was no undersea cable. There was an undersea cable coming from Southeast Asia, passing by Aden, Yemen, the Red Sea. But it was not coming to Mombasa or Dar es Salaam. So, and the other one was at Cape Town, so there was a gap. No undersea cable between Djibouti and Durban. But we worked, we got an undersea cable. So we are now linked here, from here to the coast, and from the coast to Eden, to the Red Sea. So therefore, the cost of so therefore, if you check, I don't have the figures, but the cost has come down. So we are already working on that. So therefore, and we are going to continue now. Elon Musk has come in, is proposing, is now saying that the satellite cost has come down, because you see, with the undersea cable and the underground cable, then you have the towers communicating, but now Elon Musk we are working on that. If you know Nyankore, Oktokora, when something like a leaf falls in my coffee, I don't have to throw away the coffee. I just remove the
leaf.
The akakora wekaga mu chai yange sirina okukasuka chai yenna. I just remove the kakora and drink my tea. So we are going to work on that technology of locating the troublemakers or blocking them, but without this period closing of internet. So we are ready for all that. But in your case, you need capital. Singa olna idea yo ogenda wa okufuna capital. So I'm going to discuss with your people here to see how well organized you are.
Yes, sir.
And then the Ministry of Gender and Youth, and we shall see either science and technology or which is the best where you can go and you get you get cheap capital. Okay.
That applies to all these content creators, right? What you're talking about is about content creators.
The same.
Yes.
It is the same.
Okay. So now we are on our 8th question from Publicity Nakete.
Let me come back. Just 1 minute. Let me come back. 1 minute.
Hello. Just a small announcement for our Muslim brothers and sisters who want to pray. Go to that direction, just behind that tent. There's an arrangement for you to go and pray, in case you want to go and say kusala. Thank you very much.
you can see it's good that we are getting together, because that content promotion, what content are you promoting? Because if you are promoting imported items or imported services, this is what we call ekikulukuto. Ekikulukuto, the Nyankole, is a chezwiso. Like in the Bible, the woman who was bleeding and came to Jesus to be healed. The problem of Africa has been that ekikulukuto. Africa losing resources. So the content, the one you are packaging, selling, narungi atundachi. If you are selling imported items from China, then you are adding to the ekikulukuto. But if you are promoting your own coffee, roasted, then you are adding to Utongaramu Musai. You are adding blood to Uganda, not ekikulukuto. And you can see what you are doing is healthy. Because of the 4 sectors, you have gone from services now into manufacturing. Kati bikwataganye. Bikwataganye. Ate byonna bikuuma omusaayi, byongera musaayi mu economy ya Uganda. The other person?
Mzee, when you earlier when I was telling Mama that the ladies here, many of the young people have came out with their Ugandan natural African selves, with our natural hair, with trying our best. So they did this to honor you and Mama.
The what?
Our hair, normal, our natural hair. Yes.
State House cut.
Yeah.
Mama's.
Mama Janet cut. Yes.
Very good.
Okay, so but publicity, you can come and ask your question and share your name.
Yeah. Thank you, Sister Natasha. I'm very happy anytime because I have had my time because I had a bad so far. Mommy, how are you? How are you, Mommy? All right. Daddy, how are you today? We're President of Uganda. You know, Jajja, please can attend. Your question now. The President, I have campaign begin now because now because we had now the circle of NRM because the people are in this step, this have now just contact the President. That's right. Sorry? I know. Don't go. So the first wait. The President, your question now, because the NLM, because people right now, I have the circle because they are now the publicity, I continue to give people the express. Not because contact that President of Uganda, I don't contact the express. President, mbadde ntegeeza nti sako nyingi ne maama zituteereddewo mpitirivu naye nga nze publicity tezitutuukako kyembadde ngezako siba omukulembeze eggwanga okutegeeza lwakuba ndowooza akisenti yange yetawanyiza abantu abamu.
Sako zaki?
President Mama Janet yateerawo sako nga bw'ogamba tulinayo sako omwana ono muzzukulu gyateekawo mp erubaga gundi mp waffe mbaziira alina saka abakyala ekwembera abakyamama ejipirawo amageneti naye so far because the people at the friends they are now publicity latte and not life about it but happening like that don't continue now a good chance the president of Uganda era njagala kutegeeza president nali mu covid nenkuba omulanga ensi yonna neevaayo ate nawe nonjogerako ku kyotayo noga publicity happening now because I'm very people than a president lero ngenda okumanya nti mami wange yanzaala mu family eri loko oba family y'omukisa that connected down because the publicity natet sister Natasha mukama katonda akumpangaliza bwe bali kundowoozaako ekibuuzo naki
Can you just ask the question? What is the question? Ask in Luganda.
Oluganda accent y'Oluganda
If you're finished, it's okay. You can. It's okay. It's okay. You can sit. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know who can translate that. Maybe. Kasuku, can you translate for us what he was asking?
Okay, Publicity Natete was saying there are circles that Mama Janet put, I think in Lubaga, to help women. I think there's a gentleman called Mbazira who is in charge of those circles. But he says some people are not getting the money. So that is what he was trying to say. Pardon?
No, Mbazira, the boy of Rubaga.
Yeah. Then he also said that during COVID, he called out to you, President, and you wrote on Twitter that you were one day going to meet him. I think he had, yeah? So he's thanking you and he's saying he's here right now. I don't know if you remember.
Guide our discussion, Lord God, and yet whatever we discuss and whatever decisions we make lead to the glory of your name. We thank you for their families. We thank you for their communities. And we thank you for what you will use them to do in their lives. But for today, Lord God, we invite you to be present here, and we ask you for your guidance for this discussion. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you, Mama, so much for that prayer. May God bless our interaction. It's good to see the young people again. The last time we met was January 4th, and we
prayed and hoped that we'd meet again on the other side of the elections. And we thank God very much for giving us great success, for giving Mzee great success, and Mama and the NRM, I praise God.
We always recommend Shopify. It took us from an idea to a real business. We got set up, I think, in less than a day. Shopify gives us the ability to customize without the complexity. We're Thirsty Turtle, and we leveled up our business with Shopify.
This team you see here and others who are also not yet here, and we still continue to hope that this will become a regular interaction that we'll be able to have with Mzee and with you, Mama, where the young people can come and just like talk with you and hear from you and ask questions. But these people were very, instrumental. They really fought the good fight and continue to fight the good fight. So I commend you and I recognize you and all your efforts. So now we're ready to start our our interaction. Our first question is for Mzee. And it's coming from Natasha, my namesake, Ahereza. I don't know, where is Natasha? Oh, okay.
What is it? I'm hearing.
She's there, she's about to ask.
Oh, okay.
First, hello. Thank you so much. My name Natasha. Your Excellency, Mama. My name is Natasha Ahereza, the National General Secretary, NRM Youth League. Before I ask my question, Mzee, I want you to allow me extend my congratulatory message. Thank you so much for being a resilient person. Thank you so much for being a very formidable person, for being with us in and out. I remember when we were in Vuma Highlands, you told me that well done, and indeed we did a great job. Also, Your Excellency, here with me, I have other young political leaders like Brenda Choncho, who is here, and the President Usa Shida, who accompanied me on behalf of youth leaders. Your Excellency, my question, Your Excellency, you have always encouraged us to make use of regional markets. And here we have a great chance as young people of a market, a very big market, Africa continental free trade area. But Your Excellency, this trade area is very big for young people in Uganda because they lack resources. So our question, Your Excellency, we are asking, how are young people going to be supported by the government apart from us accessing PDM, livelihood funds, and some of the funds you have given us of the graduates from the zonal hubs? Thank you so much.
The market will not mean much if you do not produce a good or a service to sell there. So that's where you should start. Which good or which service are you producing to sell in Uganda in East Africa, and if necessary in the rest of Africa. And that's why we start by telling you that you people, wealth and jobs, obugaga n'emirimu can only be found in 4 sectors. Sectors in Uganda, twazikyusanga obubondo buna. Sector 1, commercial agriculture. There are a long list of where you can be in the commercial agriculture. Food, beverages, fish farming, all those are in commercial agriculture. Even forestry, you can also put it in agriculture. The second sector where you can produce is manufacturing, artisanship or manufacturing. You can be there as an owner or as a worker in manufacturing. Then sector 3, services, hospitality, tourism, music.
My wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win, we'll fly to Paris. I bet you won't get toned with just Tai Chi walking before Christmas. Guess who won?
My dad can't lose weight with Tai Chi, so it's a scam?
Oh, no, he's probably just doing it wrong. Most men do Tai Chi wrong, and that's exactly why they can't lose weight. How old is your father?
He is 56.
Oh, perfect. By the end of November, you won't even recognize him.
But what if he hasn't worked out in years?
That's even better. Tai Chi was built for men 40 plus.
Isn't the gym better after 40?
The gym breaks you. Tai Chi will make you feel better and lose weight faster than in your 20s.
Does he need any equipment?
No, his body is enough. Just do it for 9 minutes a day and see your body feel younger.
So what's the first step?
Click the link, get the app, and start tomorrow.
What happens if my husband starts Tai Chi tomorrow morning and follows it for 28 days?
You won't believe his results by the end of the month. This is how Tai Chi workouts work.
But what if he hasn't worked out in years?
He can start small, that's fine. This program is designed specifically for beginner men aged 40 to 60 plus.
Isn't a gym better?
Gym doesn't work after 40. Do Tai Chi to live longer, healthier, and happier.
Any equipment required?
No, body is enough to build a strong physique and a clear mind.
How to start?
Just get the app and start tomorrow.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer. In 1 week, you'll see your energy. In 2 weeks, you'll feel your breath. In 3 weeks, you'll have energy and your wife won't believe your results. Here is the personalized plan of short Tai Chi workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It takes just 7 minutes per day. Beginner friendly and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere. Just open the app and follow along.
Shops in Uganda always on break, but Gigi never sleeps. I shop anytime. Why stress offline? Buy, sell, use. Gigi.
Creative arts, all those are in the services. Then sector 4, ICT. So, once you you decide where you can fit. If you listen carefully and you support us, we had already seen that many people don't have capital. What you are saying, Natasha. We had seen this. So that's why we have put all these different funds. Starting with Ntandikwa in 1987. No, 1990, yes, 1996 in Ntandikwa. And all that money, PDM, what, Myoga. Myoga is not to do, yes, Myoga is to do mainly with a little bit with services. So there's that money there. PDM now, operational wealth creation before, NADS before. Now, what you should, the weakness I see on your side, the youth, obatemufayo, oba munyoma, I don't know what the problem is. Oba muhugire, okufuga. Because this money comes, and from the beginning you are putting this money near you. These programs were all near you, not far. At the sub-county, in Ntandikwa, NADS, Myoga, all this money is either in the constituency or the sub-county. That's where the money is. Controlled by people you elect, because we are normally giving it to a chairperson. Now, recently, in 2019, 2021, we now put it at the parish. And the idea was that this fund should be near the people, where the people can reach it. But people, it seems people don't bother to go to follow up. So that's how you get people diverting the money, cheating it, what? But if you really, because you are talking to a former young man, I am a former young man and I have got all the credentials. Nobody can challenge my youngness. Because that's when I actually was doing most of the work. These people here in the cattle corridor, we changed them when we were in our 20s. Worked among them. But we were always able to go down. That was during the time of UPC. UPC was the one controlling the government in Kampala. And some of these areas were DP. And in myself, I was a DP youth. But even then, I was able to work with John Babiha, who was Minister of Animal Industry and Vice President, in the areas where we could support livestock. But we did it because I was aware of all the government programs. But if you don't bother, you are busy with Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal, I have never heard of it. Somebody asked me, which club do you support? I said, what? Me? Yoweri Museveni, General. I have never watched even once a European match. If I want, I am a footballer myself. If I want to play, why do I have to watch Europeans playing football? I can play myself or watch my team. So, of course, the money now may not be enough. The money we are sending may not be enough. But that's where now the youth now should come with their weight and say, you people put more money here. once you know that this is the medicine, then you demand more. But now the money is diverted, taken by other people, they divert, create new districts, create things which don't concern you. But because you are not following up, because if you are saying that old man has brought a good program, PDM want more money there with the youth, want more money. Don't take it in creating new districts, new cities. Let's first deal with this one day. But I don't get political support. I fight for those funds which can help you alone. You don't follow, you don't care, you don't kubanja. Those people of yours steal the money near you there. The cow, the what, but the cow is stealing the money not in Congo, it is here in Uganda. And everyone. So, then for the people, the bigger people, there is UDB. UDB. That is the bigger people, the ones who may need land titles and things like that. So there are answers for everybody. A nucleus, at least, in trouble of an answer. In trouble is the nucleus, a beginning of a solution. Come in and participate and demand more. Now, once you are producing, then we shall now have to go into the political struggle with your other youth in Kenya, in Tanzania, to say now, you people,